have some fans, and we have some just regular jazz lovers or not jazz lovers. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I come from the Midwest in the United States, Illinois to be particular. And my father, Bill Allred, is a trombone player who's still alive and playing very well and lives in Orlando, Florida. When I was a small kid, 5 or 6 years old, my memories go back to my father having musician friends over to the house and them playing in the living room and having just a jam session in the house a lot. So as I was a kid, I was fascinated by live music and watching my father play. My father also plays trombone, so he was my role model for years. I think in 1971, we moved down to Orlando, Florida. My father was one of the staff musicians at Walt Disney World. We all know what that's, Mickey Mouse, all that. And I was involved in the school system in Orlando and started learning jazz. I guess I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I started experimenting with playing different melodies on my trombone and trying to play improvised solos. I was really bad at the time, but I slowly got better, and I kept hanging out with my father and his friends. And I think just being around the music so much was a huge help to me, just in developing my ear and hearing the music and memorizing all these songs, because my dad was primarily a traditional jazz player. He would play a bunch of old Dixieland type numbers. And so I learned a lot of songs at a very early age. And then as I got older, I started learning more modern tunes, more swing era tunes, and then some bebop tunes and stuff like that. So my taste has grown and broadened over the years, the type of music that I like to play. Out of high school, I moved to California, and I was 18 years old and had my first professional job as a trombone player, and I was working at Disneyland in California, also Mickey Mouse. I guess it's a family tradition. We've always worked for Mickey Mouse. So that was a great time for me. It was near Los Angeles, and met a lot of fantastic musicians that live in the Los Angeles area, a lot of great trombone players. And from 18 to 22, I lived in California, in Los Angeles, and that was a real important growth period in my life, that young age, where I was very motivated to get up every morning and practice my trombone and practice scales and learn songs and work on my improvisation. And I think it was 1986, I moved back to Florida and started working around Central Florida, and I became active in, by then I was playing a lot more jazz. I became active in what they call jazz parties. A jazz party would be an event set up at a hotel for a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and people would come from all over and stay in the hotel, and every day they would go down to the ballroom and hear musicians play jazz all day. So those are great. I did maybe a dozen of those jazz parties every year, and you'd meet all kinds of famous old musicians, or musicians in their 30s to musicians in their 80s. So it was it was a really incredible learning experience for me to meet these famous people. And 99, I'm skipping way ahead now. 1999, I moved to New York City. And in New York City, again, meeting a lot of old and very respected musicians, as well as a lot of younger musicians that are coming up in the scene, and not just trombone players, but on every instrument. And I've been there now for 13 years, and currently I'm playing tenor trombone and bass trombone. You know what a bass trombone is? I know you guys probably do. This is a tenor trombone. It's a small, one of the smallest versions of trombone you would probably see in the jazz world. There are smaller trombones, but in jazz, this is the preferred horn. I'm playing bass trombone and tenor trombone on the Broadway show. You know what a Broadway show is, right? The singers and dancers and all that. I'm playing in the show Cinderella on Broadway. And so I do that when I'm home and can take off from that show to travel to different places like Budapest and do jazz gigs and then go home and do the show and then do that. And then while I'm in New York, I do some commercial recording for television and some jingle work for advertising and club dates, like little jazz gigs and jazz clubs and stuff like that. So my life as a musician is made up of a lot of different types of music, not just playing jazz all the time. So you can, one evening you could be standing on stage in a jazz club playing, and the next morning you could be in a studio somewhere playing a recording session. So that's where I am now. And I think what would probably be most beneficial for you is I should probably play. Shouldn't I play? Maybe that would be a lot easier on the ears than me talking. So we have a wonderful rhythm section. And
Bravo. Bravo. Bravo.
how many people made it last night to the concert here? A few of you? And I saw you guys. A couple more. You guys did. You probably had gigs.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
missed it.
Anyway, I'm gonna play some tunes off of a couple of my CDs. And if you'd like to look at them, they're right there. But I hope you like it. And when we finish a tune, if you have any questions, please ask me, and we'll just take it from there and try to answer all your questions. Right now, we're gonna play the first jazz tune that I ever learned. My dad taught this to me, and it's called the Tin Roof Blues. It's a very simple blues, and it's very easy for me to learn on trombone because the melody is. It was very easy to learn, so my dad said that's the tune you have to learn. So anyway, we'll start simple, and then we'll mess around with the changes a little bit, or what we do, we'll just take it, progress it with it, try to make it something new. So here's the Tin Roof Blues. That's the Tenbro salute. Tin Roof Blues. Actually, the version I learned was with a Dixieland band, where the trumpet would play the melody and the clarinet would be playing, you know, obligato lines over the top of that, and the trombone would be playing or something like that. So it's a little different when you're playing the melody, so it's a little more subtle, I guess. But any questions about where the slide goes, when it goes in or out, or anything? Anybody? No? 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 You got any question?
When you so is it removable? Removable? You know, when you manage to
Lose it.
yeah.
What do you do?
I just asked you to if I were
To demonstrate
if I
it?
were, yeah.
Oh, yes, it's very possible, and I haven't done it in a while. It only takes this happening a couple of times before you never do it again. But I remember one time at Disneyland, we were playing outside, and it's summertime, and you get a little wet, you're slippery, and the slide comes off. And it came off the horn and slid all the way down about 30 or 40 feet away, and there's really no way to quietly retrieve your slide without everybody. You can sneak away, you know. So that was kind of embarrassing, and I've had it happen a couple times. Luckily, no damage, but it's very, very, your face turns very red. Yeah. That's a good question.
Oh. You're welcome.
Any other questions? We're just going to play some more music. Anybody else? Okay. Let's play. Here's a standard that goes way back. I'm not sure exactly what year it was written, but again, a tune you would hear quite frequently played in traditional jazz bands or a banjo band or something. You know, it's called "Bye Bye Blackbird." Anybody know that song? You ever heard of that? Pack up all your cares and woes. Okay. So here's "Bye Bye Blackbird" in the key of F. Whoosh. Okay, any questions? Like,
Yes,
no,
maybe.
no, no, no.
Yes,
Yes?
maybe.
Można chyba powiedzieć.
Yes.
Numer.
About do you say you playing in Broadway in bass trombone, and do you learn something from to playing bass trombone because it's the much more different, the mouthpiece and the bass and everything, and the articulation also. Do you learn something for to playing jazz?
No, not really.
Not really.
I try not to. I don't mix it up with jazz. I know I could. And I think when I'm practicing at home on the bass trombone, I play jazz on the horn.
Yeah.
But when not on the show.
Yes.
Because that's really not the role of the instrument. But when I was learning the horn, I just basically do the same expanding scales and routine that I would do on my tenor trombone, but down an octave, and work. And I would talk to my friends that were bass trombone players and ask them for help, and they would tell me what to do and what exercises to do to improve the low register. I played tuba too, so
Really?
it was an easier transition than some guys because I was used to a bigger mouthpiece on the tuba, So, but it is totally a different instrument than this. It seems, because the embouchure is totally different. The mouthpiece is, 3 times bigger. And, it's just
Yes,
Yeah, so I tend to not play a lot of jazz on the bass drum.